Hey, I'm sitting here laughing at myself and decided I would share this story. So, I had to have I didn't have to have, I elected to have a CTA scan done. And I walked into the room. So, again, I elected to have it done. Um, Walked into the room where the procedure is going to take place, looked at the machine, spoke to the attendants who were all very nice and comforting, and the machine basically looked like there is I can't think of there's a tool or a it reminds me of not the bolt, let's say a square bolt. I don't know if that's the actual term, but it's square on the outside and there's a circle in the middle. You lay down and they move you closer to the scanning apparatus machinery. But it's about maybe, if it was 3 feet thick, right? So your whole body, there is no your whole body going into this thing. At least not in the sense of the way I think a CAT scan is, where they can scan your whole body and you're in like a tube or like a tunnel. Anyway, so we lay down. I lay down on the bed to prep for the scan. And I closed my eyes because I just felt like, you know, I didn't know when the scanning was going to start. I know the young lady said she would tell me, but she said she was going to take a few pictures before the whole process. And I don't know, I just something about me and radiation in my eyes, like in my head, I was like, I'm just going to close my eyes. So I did. I opted to keep my eyes closed the whole time. And during that time, like the information, the fact that I had already seen the machine, that left me. While my eyes were closed and I'm focusing on just the buzzing and whirring sounds around me, I start to feel like I am in the tunnel or tube like apparatus that I explained before, which is that long, I think that's the CAT scan. So when I start to envision that, I start feeling a little bit of anxiety because I don't like small, like super enclosed spaces. I wouldn't say I'm claustrophobic necessarily, like I could be in an elevator or whatever, but like really tight, like to my body spaces, dark, where I would have to like shimmy out, that's uncomfortable for me. So I started to think about that I'm in that, and then I started to do some of my coping and just relaxing. And I didn't get a panic attack, but I was like, I don't like that, right? But I didn't open my eyes. I said, I for some reason was committed to my eyes staying closed. So the process was over. I moved out of, and I can't even say out of because, again, as I just explained, I couldn't really be in because it was 3 feet and it's a circle and you go through, right? So you're very easily out the back end. Like, I'm like 5'5", so 3 feet. I'm not really in anything. But I open my eyes. The attendant's talking to me or whatever, and then I stand up, to leave. And the evidence, the reality of what the machinery really looks like, what is it? Juxtaposed next to what was going on in my head hit me like wham. And I thought, how often do we allow, and maybe it's just me, and I'm fine with that, but how often do we allow what our mind is telling us to supersede the actual facts of what we have already seen and experienced? And in this instance, as soon as reality was presented to me, I was like, what was I thinking? I also realized that had I opened my eyes, had I gone into this process with my eyes open, my experience would have been different, right? Like if I had made use of all of the information that was available to me, the information being my senses, right? My vision, I would have had a different outcome, a different experience. So how many times do we allow fear and like almost a stubborn stance of ignorance or lack of information to color our decisions and, course of life, right? And so this is, just a long way to say, don't be silly like me. And also get information. People of God, we do not have to be afraid of facts because our God is not afraid of facts. Our God can handle reality. He made it. I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from that, like, the things in the natural, even if they conflict with what the Word of God might say, can't be, like, we can't face them. Like, we have to say something. I don't know. It's a weird thing that sometimes we do. But all I want to say is that God is bigger. He can handle the facts. If they say you have cancer, you don't have to act as though you don't have cancer. What you do is you bring that cancer report to the Lord. He can handle it. Maybe you can't, but He can. If bad news comes, you don't have to be in denial. You can take that news and bring it to the Lord. He can handle it. He's got an answer. He's not surprised. So I'm going to stop here. I hope that this has been helpful. It was helpful for me to say it, to share my experience, to process it again. Hopefully it was helpful for you to hear it. Have a good day.